Unless you've been living under a rock lately, or you've been so obsessed watching the death of a queen, you probably missed the introduction of our new queen. I mean, Lucia, who's the new female protagonist from GTA 6, who, by the way, within 24 hours of us knowing about her existence, there was already Rule 34 of her, because, of course, what do you expect at this point? In today's video, I wanted to look at one tiny detail that I spotted from the latest leaks that actually makes another older leak sound a bit more credible. So in one of the leaked clips, which I will show you my artistic impression of, because, well, I've already spoken enough on how litigious Take 2 are, and don't fancy getting sued, we see a development video listing a bunch of in-game events, and one of them says Serra failed space launch engine. Now, this may mean nothing, but it did stand out to me because I remember a 4chan post from last year that claimed a bunch of stuff coming in GTA 6, and one of those things I remember being a failed space launch. So I've done a bit of digging, I've managed to find screenshots of that thread again, and I thought we should just go and look through it. And interestingly, as soon as we start looking at this, some of the other details that we've learned have started to appear. Modern day male and female protagonists, just like the leak show. Florida and Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico didn't show so much, but we did actually find out earlier in the year there was an article in Bloomberg that said that GTA 6 was actually codenamed Americas and was supposed to include both North and South America. And so that's not too far off what we've heard either. And again, Vice City, Palm Beach, Florida Keys, Daytona Beach, a handful more smaller towns and cities, all things that actually, when we've looked at the footage of this recent leak, all sound pretty genuine. Again, this was made last year. Again, most of Florida, except for Vice City and Palm Beach, is swampy, kind of like Saint Denis from Red Dead Redemption 2. Again, in the leak, these are all things which we have had confirmed to us, or seemingly confirmed to us. Puerto Rico is like a third of the size of Florida. When you choose the male protagonist at the beginning, you start here. One of the main antagonists moves into Puerto Rico, and you have to steal one of his Tesla-style cars in the first mission as him. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The main antagonist is almost literally just Jeffrey Epstein. They even have his island off the coast of Puerto Rico. The last mission, you infiltrate his island. Actually, I should probably say, spoiler alert in case this ends up being real, but who knows, we could just be playing make-believe at this point. The last mission, you infiltrate his island and blackmail the other couple of protagonists. There's like an FIB guy, a corrupt Puerto Rican mayor, then basically Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. Not literally them, but basically them. So in the next post, depending on whether you assist Musk or Bezos, you'll actually see the world change. Musk is setting up shop in Puerto Rico and gentrifying the old neighborhoods. If you choose missions that assist him, you'll actually see the map change as the story progresses. Again, that's an insane idea, especially given that by the end of the game, if that is true, we'd have different maps for different people, which is really cool. Also, the Musk character pays you in Bitcoin and is one of the reasons he moved to Puerto Rico. Apparently, Puerto Rico doesn't tax crypto income. You can invest it like the stock market in GTA 5, but it fluctuates like crazy and eventually crashes at a set point in the story. And again, here we are, mention of the NASA launch site. There's a NASA launch site in Florida that Musk and Bezos are feuding over. Throughout the story, the two protagonists rise up the criminal ranks and eventually you end up working for either one. You are actually presented with both missions and can choose who to side with. This affects the way the story plays out. As far as I know, there are at least 3 major story beats that happen or don't happen depending on the choices you make. Speaking of choice, at the beginning of the game, you have a choice between the male or female protagonist. Interesting, especially because in GTA 5, you're sort of forced into the story of playing one character at a time, and it's always going to start with the same character and it never really changes around. You couldn't start with Trevor in GTA 5. So if that's true, that's going to be an interesting change. So someone asked here, since when has GTA 6 been in development? How far is the development done? Supposedly since 2017 properly. Pre-production began immediately after GTA 5, but they've been flipping back and forth on ideas. The person I'm in contact with told me they can't hold their fingers on any date. Lots of people on the team get pulled back and forth between projects, supposedly Grand Theft Auto expansions that's pretty big, and a lot of people are working on that. So this was June 2021, which actually lines up with the tuner update we got in 2021 because that came out in July, so pretty much like a month later. He does go on to say nobody is actually playing the game at this point, too early in development, which again also ties in to when you actually see, because this is from 2021, a lot of the leaked footage is from 2021, and a lot of that footage is basically just people doing tech things like working out animations, and all of that sort of stuff, just testing animations, testing collisions with objects and all of that sort of stuff. Both protagonists have their respective handful of exclusive missions at the beginning. Male protagonist, Puerto Rican, starts in Puerto Rico. I don't know if Jason is Puerto Rican. The first mission is steal a Tesla, and you sort of get on the good side of a cartel leader. He has you deliver a shipment of drugs to Florida. The female protagonist starts in Florida, working at a sort of Amazon warehouse, sort of similar to the beginning of Mafia 2, if anyone remembers that. Her and a friend set up a heist on an Amazon shipment of expensive stuff, and they steal it. When you guys cross over in like mission 5 or 6, then you swap to the other player character and you have an introduction to them as like the duo. Then you have full reign of the whole map. And then in reply to someone, they say, yes, the Elon Musk character pays you in crypto. It's not flattering towards crypto though. They basically shit on the idea of it the whole game. Musk has a sort of personal cryptocurrency that he controls that you can then transfer into real in-game money. Interesting. It's cool because the events of the story actually end up affecting stock prices and the price of crypto until that point in the story where it crashes. And here's the bit that I remember. Musk's rocket explodes over Florida and rains debris everywhere. So interestingly, how this all lines up, this could just be a very good storyteller that just has a very good knowledge of what could possibly be parodied in terms of Floridian stuff and just like American stuff in general. But interesting that they have included the rocket explosion here. And this is why I wanted to come back to this, because even if this ends up being a load of rubbish, I still think this is quite an interesting concept of a game to think about. So again, as we're going through this and you think that this story is stupid or you've got your own ideas, just feel free to leave a comment in the comment section. So they say Musk and Bezos. I will reiterate, it's not literally them, just like their equivalent characters, obviously, because it's not really based in the real world. They're both feuding over a launch pad owned by the government for their respective space companies. Depending on who you assist more, one or the other actually secures it. You can also play both sides, but regardless of whether you choose to help, their rocket explodes over Florida, totally burns down a wildlife preserve right next to it, and that spot is permanently burned on the map for the rest of the game. I mean, I do like that idea because I like the idea that a map can change over time, but I'm also at the same point thinking, it's kind of like anyone who's played World of Warcraft and played like World of Warcraft Classic as it is now, then Cataclysm came along and destroyed loads of the world. It kind of makes you sad because you don't get to enjoy the old bit of world anymore, but cool for the sake of storytelling. By the way, for anyone who follows the Chiliad mystery in GTA 5, apparently something is planned for this game as well, and the Epsilon program from GTA 5 is back inside Florida, where they run a compound and actually have taken over one of the smaller towns. Every story there is run by someone in the Epsilon program. They also have a private army which the town is guarding. I don't know if this is tied into the main story, if it's a side mission, or if it's related to the big Chiliad-style Easter egg. Some other little tidbits they've said: there is a theme park around the middle of the map, sort of a Disney World Universal Studios hybrid. I've also seen something called Fairyland, and I did wonder if Fairyland might just be like their name for a little theme park as well. I think you end up visiting there and maneuvering secret tunnels between the park, collaborating with park members to distribute drugs. It's free roam though, so you can actually walk around it kind of like the pier in GTA 5, which sounds pretty cool. Might be able to ride some rides there as well. Weight gain and muscle mass from San Andreas is back, and they're also doing hair growth from Red Dead Redemption 2, and 99% sure that your characters can get plastic surgery as well, which could be interesting. The thing with the plastic surgery, as well as the haircuts and even auto repairs, there are different tiers of shops with different prices. If you go to one of the lower end shops, they can mess up your hair, mess up your plastic surgery, or even mess up your car, which is actually quite a fun thought. Not super extreme ways, but it's cool to see all the different stores actually featuring relevant items and have that affect the game in some way. This all sounds really fun. So yeah, that is the thread from 4chan. I want to know what you guys think. At the time, it all just sounded a bit like someone was just making up a fun version of GTA in their head, but some of the stuff that's in this does line up with what we've seen in the leak, so I'm kind of interested to see how real this is, and we could probably revisit this video once GTA 6 is out and we understand the story. We can come back to this and just see how accurate it is. What do you guys think? Do you think it's accurate or not? I want to know what you think in the comment section below, but that's going to be it. So thank you guys, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.